Hello students, welcome back. In this session, I will be discussing on foramen and neurovascular structures in gluteal region. These are the learning objectives for this session. Reviewing the structures under cover of gluteus maximus, describing the posterior wave of bony pelvis and ligaments, enumerating the structures passing through greater sciatic foramen and lesser sciatic foramen, outlining the anastomosis formed around upper end of femur, briefing the origin of neurovascular structures of gluteal region, and explaining few related applied anatomical aspects. To begin with, this is the picture showing gluteus maximus, which is intact. After removal of gluteus maximus, we see these muscles. This is gluteus medius, which is cut. This is the other cut end of the same. This is gluteus minimus below the medius. This is piriformis. Just below that we find tricipital tendons. These three are by superior gemellus, inferior gemellus, and intervening obturator internus. And this is quadratus femoris. To add neurovascular structures here quickly, we can see superior gluteal nerve and vessels above the piriformis, inferior gluteal vessels and nerves below the piriformis. The thickest nerve of the body is sciatic nerve, and posterior cutaneous nerve of thigh, and few of the neurovascular structures which are not shown here in this picture. We have to discuss about foramen and structures passing through them in gluteal region. Look at this picture. Piriformis is coming out of pelvic cavity in the gluteal region. This is passing through a fibro-osseous or osteofibrous canal or foramen. One side it is bone, and the other side it is a ligament. And this is also osteofibrous canal. To get the correct idea how these are formed, let us look at bony pelvis. This is posterior wave of pelvic girdle. This is sacrum, hip bone, posterior superior iliac spine, ischial tuberosity, upper end of femur. The same has been augmented with ligaments of the hip, femur, and sacrum. So this is sacrotuberous ligament, extensive, wide, flat band, and just below that you can find one more ligament, that is sacrospinous ligament. Sacrotuberous and sacrospinous ligaments convert these greater sciatic notch and lesser sciatic notch into greater sciatic foramen and lesser sciatic foramen. These are the foramen through which contents or neurovascular structures of the gluteal region enter into the gluteal region from the pelvis. Some of the structures enter the gluteal region and leave to take entry through the lesser sciatic foramen to supply the pudendal region or perineum. So they are pudendal structures. The meaning of pudenda is shy region. The same is seen from the lateral aspect. This is the hip bone. This is greater sciatic notch, lesser sciatic notch, and this is ischial spine, ischial tuberosity. This is augmented with other bones, femur, upper end of the femur, and this is sacrum. You can see here, this is sacrotuberous ligament, and just below that, this is sacrospinous ligament, converting the greater sciatic notch into greater sciatic foramen and lesser sciatic notch into lesser sciatic foramen. This is lateral view. This picture explains the same, saying there are many structures which leave the pelvic cavity through greater sciatic foramen to take entry into gluteal region, chiefly piriformis and neurovascular structures associated above and below to it. Some of the structures are leaving lesser sciatic foramen to take entry into gluteal region. They are superior, inferior gemellus, and obturator internus muscle. Interestingly, Few structures will leave the pelvic cavity and they transiently lie in the gluteal region. They take exit from the pelvic cavity through greater sciatic foramen and take entry through the lesser sciatic foramen to access towards perineum. So we shall look at those structures in a while. The same picture showing piriformis. Let us look at or enlist the muscles or enlist the structures. These are the structures passing through greater sciatic foramen. Piriformis, it is here. Above the piriformis, superior gluteal nerve, which is sandwiched between gluteus medius and gluteus minimus. It supplies both of these and also tensor fasciolata. Superior gluteal vessels, which are along with the superior gluteal nerve. Below the piriformis, it is inferior gluteal nerve, which supplies gluteus maximus. Inferior gluteal vessels, which are anastomosing with superior gluteal vessels and around hip joint. Sciatic nerve, the thickest nerve of the body, so which is formed by lumbosacral plexus. Posterior cutaneous nerve of thigh, which is just medial to the sciatic nerve, which can be seen here. Nerve to quadratus femoris. Interestingly, quadratus femoris is here, which is supplied by a nerve. That nerve lies anterior to the quadratus femoris. To look at that nerve, we have to dissect the muscles above it. They are superior gemellae, inferior gemellae, and quadratus obturator internus. Then we can see the nerve supplying the quadratus femoris by its anterior surface. It is here. Tricipital tendons are cut. Nerve to quadratus femoris is shown here, which is supplying this muscle from its anterior surface. Nerve to quadratus femoris also supplies inferior gemellus. I was telling you about some structures which are leaving the pelvic cavity. Transiently, they lie in gluteal region and they take entry through the lesser sciatic foramen again back into perineum. They are these structures: pudendal nerve, internal pudendal artery, and nerve to obturator internus. Nerve to obturator internus also supplies superior gemellus. Let us look at these structures which are not shown in this picture. Here they are. Pudendal nerve is here, internal pudendal artery, and nerve to obturator internus, which are transiently lying in gluteal region. They are coming to gluteal region, passing through greater sciatic foramen and escaping out of this region through lesser sciatic foramen. Nerve to obturator internus also supplies superior gemellus. These are known as pin structures. This is lumbosacral plexus and different nerves, their root values and how they are formed, whether they are formed by anterior division, posterior division. Spend some time to look at these structures. This picture shows sagittal section of pelvis. This is pubic symphysis and whole of the sacrum can be seen here with ligaments, greater sciatic notch into greater sciatic foramen, and this is lesser sciatic foramen. Common iliac artery, which is supplying the lower limb, divides into external and internal iliac arteries, which are not shown here. Internal iliac artery is the one which supplies most of the pelvic organs, and the branches of the same are going out through the foramen to supply the gluteal region. Let us look at those branches. This picture shows sagittal section of pelvis. This is pubic symphysis. This is sacrum. This is common iliac artery, external iliac artery, and internal iliac artery. Internal iliac artery supplies the structures in the pelvis. It has anterior division and posterior division. Posterior division or posterior trunk is the one which is having branch, that is superior gluteal artery. This is showing anterior division which continues as inferior gluteal artery. Here is superior gluteal artery which is branched from posterior division of internal iliac artery. Here is inferior gluteal artery which is continuation of anterior division of internal iliac artery. When we look at the vascular structures in gluteal region, chiefly they are branches of superior gluteal artery, inferior gluteal artery, and also ascending branches from profunda femoris artery. This shows anastomosis around the hip joint. Importantly, there are two anastomoses to mention. One is trochanteric anastomosis and cruciate anastomosis. Let us look at them. This is trochanteric anastomosis, which is fed by four branches of different arteries. This is from superior gluteal artery, branch from inferior gluteal artery from above, ascending branch of lateral circumflex femoral artery, and ascending branch of medial circumflex femoral arteries are the one which are forming trochanteric anastomosis. Just like that, we have cruciate anastomosis, which is plus shaped anastomosis. So this is fed by descending branch from inferior gluteal artery and transverse branch from lateral circumflex femoral artery and transverse branch of medial circumflex femoral artery. One more is ascending branch of first perforating branch of profunda femoris artery. This is cruciate anastomosis. They play very important role in supply towards hip joint and associated structures. This picture shows the site for intramuscular injection in gluteal region. It's usually upper and outer quadrant when we divide the gluteal region into 4 quadrants to avoid injuries to important nerves, that is sciatic nerve and vessels which are above and below the piriformis. So remember, it is upper and outer quadrant, so which can be traced like this: anterior superior iliac spine with the index finger, and just behind it, this is the area. This is a sciatic nerve which is emerging below the piriformis muscle. In some of the cases, the roots of the lumbosacral plexus which form the sciatic nerve can pass through the mass of piriformis muscle. So in such conditions, if piriformis muscle goes for spasmodic contraction, it can give rise to piriformis syndrome, which results in painful condition along the line of innervation of sciatic nerve. So which is very common in those people who use lateral rotators of the hip more commonly, like ice skaters or some sports persons. Anesthetic agents can be injected around the sciatic nerve to block it for surgical interventions along the areas where it distributes. The midpoint of a line joining 2 points. They are upper border of greater trochanter and posterior superior iliac spine. Midpoint of the line joining these 2 points, just below that, if anesthetic agents are injected, it can block sciatic nerve. This is known as sciatic block. This ends this session. Thank you for patient listening.